The last item I had for us actually is also a YouTube video. And this...
Oh, Mike, how many social media are you going to attack me on this one for?
Well, we're also going to talk about Twitter. So,
oh, boy.
Yeah, there you go. Several months ago, I think over the summer it was, Ahmed Best. Do you know Ahmed Best?
Personally, yes.
You do?
We're very good friends.
Yes.
He doesn't know that yet.
He will soon.
He will.
When I show up at his house.
So Ahmed, for those who don't know, is the actor that portrayed Jar Jar Binks in the... Oh,
yes.
For those who weren't listening during the Porkins Bite of the Week.
Yes. part of the prequel trilogy. So
again.
Yes. So anyway, over the summer, he tweeted out a picture that he had taken. He was with his son. He was in New York City, which is where he grew up.
Brooklyn Bridge.
He took him to the Brooklyn Bridge, and they were walking the bridge, and he stopped at a spot that had held some meaning for him, and he took a picture, and he just sent out a tweet, and he said he just really didn't even think much of it, you know, just his few followers that followed him on Twitter that, you know, they'd see it, and, you know, kind of that would be it. But that image in that tweet actually gained a lot of traction, and that particular tweet, he revealed to the world that that at one point after the Phantom Menace, that
which he didn't call out specific. He said 20 years ago. Yeah,
20 years ago. Yeah, I mean, so yeah, didn't specify a day or anything, but basically said that there was a time where he was really feeling pretty beat up over the backlash that he got over. His role in the Phantom Menace and the prequel trilogies as Jar Jar, and actually considered, you know, I'll let you watch the video.
Are you getting choked up?
A little bit.
The glare in your glasses are really throwing me too.
A little bit, but basically almost, you know,
took his own life.
Yes,
he almost took his own life.
It's hard to even say.
I am
it's hard to even
so
say.
blessed by the fact that you can't get the words out that I'm going to start tearing up, even though I'm not emotional about this at all.
Look, usually these things, I mean, because we've heard a lot.
If you start crying, I'm going to start crying.
No, you're crying.
Not at all.
I'm not crying. I
just want to set this discussion up this way. I mean, over the last year, we've heard a lot about, you know, all the toxic fans are just so mean to the actors and the creators and all this
the
stuff.
female ones. I mean,
just the female ones. Yeah, right. Just the females.
Ahmed Best, nothing. No, he never got anything but praise.
So, you know, there's been a lot said about toxic fans attacking, you know, creators and actors and all that stuff online. And actually,
people are horrible.
And I've actually been pretty critical of that because I feel like, well, first off, yeah, when you're online and you're on Twitter, I mean, Twitter, we've said this before, is the anus of the internet. I mean, it's awful. It's an awful place where people just burn each other constantly. And
does 4chan even exist anymore, or did it like get enough Pokemon candy to evolve into Twitter?
True.
Oh,
yeah, it could be.
Is that how it works?
It could
Twitter-chan.
So, you know,
all right, you need to make a side-by-side comparison of that.
All right, I'm on it. Photoshop.
So my point here, though, is that, you know, I'm kind of critical of that. Yes, I don't think that people should be out there, you know, jumping all over people in a mean way. I mean, I'm all about critical discussion and it's telling it like it is.
And I'm all about making sarcastic jokes even. I'll go one further.
Yes, I agree.
But mantra, don't be a dick.
Yeah, don't be a dick.
Just don't be a dick.
Come on.
Right. It's pretty simple.
Yeah.
You know, but people are that way, and you just got to know that. So I guess my point, yes, on the fan side, don't be a dick. But on the star side, the celebrity side.
Which can be, if you're inexperienced and feeling targeted, it's hard to have perspective.
Okay.
But also don't be a dick.
Well, I feel like if you're telling the fans don't be a dick, feel like I'm telling the celebrities don't be Ryan Johnson. Don't go out there and stoke the flames.
Need I point out the redundancy of what you just said, because he really was being one for a while.
Yeah, I mean, getting out there and just throwing himself into it and you know, playing the victim. At least I felt like. I mean, I know there's going to be people that disagree with me on that, but
the difference is, in this case, Ahmed Best giving his perspective on it.
Yes, and that's where I was going with this. Is that I was almost kind of critical, pretty critical on the side of, you know, of the celebrities, the people, you know.
I've always felt bad for him because I thought he was cool.
I did too. I always did.
I've always thought he's the coolest dude.
Right.
So I always am like, man, that really sucks.
So, you know, you watch this video, and this video that he's put out now is a result of that initial tweet that kind of became viral.
Yeah, and it's the videos are done. What's it called? I've been there or whatever. It's a YouTube channel or something where they make videos about people who've been in tough situations.
Well, this particular video is on a channel called Soul Pancake, and the video is called "That Moment I Opened Up About Suicide." So if you want to check it out, and we'll link it up so you can go look at it too. But
okay. So
it's a very well done. It's a very well produced video where Ahmed just kind of sits down and tells the story of that tweet and his life growing up and his experience through the film. And it's
basically it's what you call a testimony.
Yeah,
He's
man,
throwing out his testimony.
Right. And it just I don't know, for me personally, it just put a human side to it for the celebrities.
I like hearing that, like, you know, I didn't have an agent. Yes. I didn't have representation. I didn't have any of that. It was just me and the fans. Like, he didn't have anybody to talk him through it.
Right.
So he was hitting it was hitting him personally.
Right.
And he had no coach for how to get through it. And I'm like, you don't think of someone being in a Star Wars movie but then not having representation. You don't think of celebrities, quote unquote.
People think, when they think celebrity, they think people of means that have got a lot of money.
Kelly Marie Tran didn't go to Shrug It Off school.
Exactly.
we say you're a celebrity, you need to learn to shrug it off, and we're not wrong.
Right.
But she didn't get taken to Shrug It Off school beforehand. And so her quitting Insta and Twitter was her method of learning that, which I think we know.
Sure.
We know, like, well, let her do it. That's fine.
Right.
Everybody else shut up.
Right.
Because she's dealing with it.
Yes.
Let's keep not feeding the trolls, and we'll all be better. Which she'll get better at it. We'll all let more trolls shrivel and die.
People have said this a million times.
Yeah.
You can hate the character of Rose Tico, but leave Kelly Marie Tran alone. I mean, don't copy her. Don't go to her page and harass her and all that stuff. And the same thing here. And again, this just really puts a human face to that, because it's true, because not all celebrities are at the same level. I mean, George Lucas and J.J. Abrams and
it's
Ryan
hard to
Johnson.
remember that because it's Star Wars.
Yes,
like, everybody here is consummate, wizened professional.
Yes, I mean,
everybody's Harrison Ford.
That's right. They're crashing planes on the set all the time.
So
the parking lot's just a nightmare zone.
Broken down forward.
It's like just
Ahmed Best was just the guy that was in Stomp.
Yeah,
and
he's like what, 22 when he got cast?
Yes, yeah, real young.
So he's like 24 years old, and like the most hated character of all time was something that came from his soul,
right?
Something that he made,
right? Yes, right, exactly.
He didn't write it, but he made it.
But and think about it, coming from his perspective. Yes, a young guy in his 20s. Somebody's there at his show, and they're so like, "Hey, come try out for the Star Wars film." Next thing you know, you're literally standing next to George Lucas
at your audition.
Yes, at your audition. I mean, for crying out loud, and you're being,
and everybody on set is constantly telling you that this is amazing, everything you're doing is great, this is going to be huge, and boom, you're literally at the top of the most hated characters of all time list.
Right.
That's your name associated with
attached
that.
to it, yeah.
And that's a character that you brought to life, and that bottomed him out, man. Right. He was ready to go.
Yeah.
Ready to shuffle off this mortal coil.
So
that sucks.
Yeah.
And on the upside, he's got a family now. He's happy.
Yes, right.
You know what I mean? So it's not all. The video is actually pretty inspiring.
Yeah, and you got to watch a video, and he talks about the moment where he considered it, where he was on the Brooklyn Bridge. That was kind of his thing when he lived in the city. Was that he was his inspiration to go walk at the bridge.
Yeah,
and at one point he had stopped and had this consideration, then had his second thought, and it was very inspirational.
And then the wind almost blew him off, and he goes, "Ah!" And he goes, "Oh wait,
whoa, wait a minute!
Apparently, I don't want to die."
Right, and he just had this great mantra of no, let's get to the next day, and then the next day, and I'm like, it's just a good life lesson, really. But yes,
one day at a time, baby.
Fast forward to 2019. He's got a son and a family, and so good on him that he's put that behind him. But it's not always easy, and not all stars are at super uber mega levels.
But see, and here's the real trick in the internet age, and the fact that people are horrible. It's more challenging because even back then, most people weren't internet savvy at the time of episode 1 coming out, right?
Sure, right.
now the people who really want to do evil, those types of internet trolls, not the vile spewing hate mongers, like the people who actually want to sow the seeds of discord, okay, of discordance. Discord's fine. Join us on Discord. Those people will find the most vulnerable targets. And someone like Kelly Marie Tran was perfect.
Sure. Right.
Perfect, because she was brand spanking new.
Right.
Green as all get out.
Right.
A divisive character. I shouldn't even say a divisive. I don't think there's anything wrong with the character. It's just the writing.
Yeah.
But
sure.
even the character. See, in Jar Jar's case, the character's questionable.
Sure. Right.
But the character of Rose Tico is perfectly fine.
Yeah. Sure. Right.
You know, and her situation is fine.
Right.
But the writing itself was
writing the plot points.
right.
Yeah. Right.
Right. So, but she's the perfect person to target to make a bigger dent, to try to take advantage, to hurt, to show that you can actually sow these seeds of anger and angst, discord, and cause negative reactions and cause people to infight amongst themselves. Because guess what? There are people in this world who get off on that. This isn't tinfoil hat kind of stuff.
No.
This is reality.
Right.
There are people who want to puppet that kind of stuff and sit back and what do they want to do, Michael Caine? Watch the world burn. You know?
Yeah. Good. Yeah.
And if you let them, it's going to happen. So they're going to, in the future, this isn't going to let up. We can have all the anti-bullying campaigns we want. If anything, that just I really think it probably inspires more fueling of the fire, at least at this level. I think that on average, young kids maybe are nicer to each other than they used to be. It seems that way sometimes, but
they want to. They have good hearts.
Yeah. Yeah. But at this, I mean, it's not going to get better. They're going to keep attacking people in all manner of media if they find them vulnerable. So you don't see it as much. Like there's a lot of infighting and stuff amongst YouTubers and stuff like that, but you don't see any of them just getting slaughtered by the crowd and like just going to pieces or being personally attacked, because they're already people going out there on the internet and taking the risk. They most of them kind of know or learn real quick what's involved. You're going to be an internet personality, but when you're a movie personality, handpicked and put in the top grossing film of the year, and you have nothing on your resume, what is there to prepare you? What trial by fire? Or what, like the fire's at full blast. You don't get to simmer up like you do, like putting out a YouTube video that 10 people watch and the next one 50 people watch, the next one 100 people watch. You know what I mean? It's literally boom, you're there. We're going to see this more and more. And we've got to, as a public, learn not only to band together in support of these people, regardless of how we felt about the character or anything, but B, not be idiots and start casting stones amongst ourselves just because there's some toxic a-holes on the fringe.
That's what I'm saying.
They are on the fringe. I don't care how. Well, no, there's like 50 people or 100 people harassing her. I'm like, out of millions.
Right. Billions worldwide. But yeah, I mean, yes.
It might just be millions on Twitter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, we need to treat it like fringe assholism, not because it goes unaddressed, but because the people who participate need to understand that we think of them as fringe assholes.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, and I think you're hitting right on.
I mean, you just hard right now. I apologize.
the problem is though, is I think there's a contingent of people, and again, I think they have good hearts, but they think that the only way to fight that is by fighting back. Right. Fight fire with fire.
Incorrect.
And it is completely incorrect. It's just ignore assholes. I mean,
funny thing is, a lot of these people would probably be extremely pacifist when it comes to actual foreign policy, but when it comes to each other, we'll go ahead and just slaughter each other.
Do you remember when this Kelly Marie Tran thing first happened? I think our initial reaction was, okay, she left Twitter. Yep, right move.
Our first reaction was she did the right thing.
Yeah, right.
Yep. You know, do what you did. But then everybody else decided to plant some kind of signpost on it.
She shouldn't have to leave.
She shouldn't have to do that. I'm like, whoa. Agreed. In a perfect world, those things wouldn't happen. But we're not in a perfect world, and
we never will be.
No, we never will be, and she's doing the right thing given the status of what she's now doing.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. To it's damage control. You always got to. I mean, famous people have. Some of them have PR handlers for just this kind of thing. You know what I mean? It's not abnormal, and I think to get all. It's
all about managing optics.
It is, and to kick up a poop storm about it just to prove that.
Yeah. I said
just to prove that you're on the side of good.
Right.
if to prove that you're on the side of good or put yourself on the side of good means that you have to take someone else and call them bad, you got to knock someone down a peg, that you've got to point at other people and say, if you don't agree with me, you're bad or you're part of the problem. And I don't want to turn into the Joe Rogan podcast over here or anything like that. Here I'm Bill Burr. I'm all mad about this shit. There's no point. There's no point. You're not helping. You're not. It's unification, man. We need to unify. She shouldn't be treated that way. Right. She's doing the right thing to get under control. Yeah. And let's make sure that we continue to exclude the buttholes rather than give them that much more of a ripe garden.
I don't know how much I ignore. I ignore a lot.